Okay, good morning. It is Friday the 23rd. It's Friday 23rd of October and it's 10:15 and we're doing a weekend themed reading vlog, and basically we're going to be reading books that come out today, for you today, on the 27th of October. So there's 2 books that I'm going to be reading this weekend, and I'm hoping it will just take me till Sunday to get through these books. I have decided to make it, like, extend it and do Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of just Saturday and Sunday, which I could have done had the F1 not been on. So we've got the Portugal F1 on Sunday, so that will take a few hours out of the reading time for me, so we're going to extend it to Friday as well, because why the hell not. So the books I'm going to be reading, the first one is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco, which I'm really excited for. This is a YA fantasy book and I'm super hyped for it, following 2 sisters called Amelia and then Vittoria, and they work in the family's Sicilian restaurant. And one day Amelia's worried because sister doesn't come into work, and it turns out that she ends up finding her sister's body, Vittoria's body. Then she asks the help of Wrath, who is the Prince of Hell, and to try and find the killer. And I think his agenda is different, but I'm not sure if there's going to be a romance, and I'm living for it. I love Kerry Maniscalco's work. If you haven't read the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which is historical fantasy, I would highly recommend it. It's very, very good. In fact, it's historical fiction. Now I think about it, it's historical fiction. It's very, very good and I highly recommend it. It's great. It's raining, so if you can hear that, we're in the kitchen, my apologies. So this is the first book we're going to be reading, so thank you so much to Harder Escape for sending me a copy of this. That's the first book I'm going to be reading. The second one is Crazy Stupid Bromance. I'll show a picture of it here, by Alyssa K. Adams. This is the 3rd in the Bromance book club series, first one being Bromance book club and then the second one being Undercover Bromance. I gave them both 5 stars and I actually preferred the second one a bit more than I preferred the first one. So yeah, this third one, I actually don't know much about it. I just requested it because I'm loving the series and I really want to read it. So when it comes time to me picking that up, because I think I'm going to pick up Kingdom of the Wicked first, when it comes time to me picking that up, I will let you know. I'll obviously read the synopsis and let you know what's going on. But I think what my plan is going to be today is to start off with, I need to charge my Kindle. So we'll stick that on charge, and I think I want to try and get through maybe the first 100 pages of this. It's not that long really, considering it's a fantasy. It's 369 pages, so when I get through like the first 100 pages of this, I have been reading pretty much solid fantasy now for the last, I would say, 2 weeks, and I'm getting sick of it. Not sick of fantasy in general, but I just need a palate cleanser. So I'm really looking forward to picking up Crazy Stupid Bromance, because it's really going to ease my soul this weekend, I think. So I want to read like the first 100 pages of this, so that I've got through that and I've made a dent in this. I was just going to read Crazy Stupid Bromance first and get the palate cleanser out of the way and maybe go into this just completely fresh, but I think it's better if I get 100 pages into this first, so I don't feel intimidated after finishing Crazy Stupid Bromance of going back into a, it's not lengthy, but going back into a reasonably lengthed fantasy. So yeah, on the back of that as well, I am also listening to Crooked Kingdom, nearly said Six of Crows then, Crooked Kingdom and The Empire of Gold in the background. These are buddy reads, so I will be listening to them in the background, but I've not been mentioning anything about them, so it's pointless me even telling you where I'm up to, but I am not too far into either of them, to be perfectly honest. So just, and times where I've got chance to listen to an audiobook, like I need to take some Instagram pictures this morning, so on times where I've got chance to listen to an audiobook, that's what I'll be doing. So no time will be wasted. However, I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you on Kingdom of the Wicked, so I'll see you in a little bit. It's 9:25. I was going to read till, like, I set an alarm for 10:15 for like an hour, to read for an hour, because I was moving on to Crazy Stupid Bromance, but I've read the first chapter, so the first 3%, and I'm going to put it down and save it for tomorrow because I think this is going to be one that I'm going to want to just fly through, sit down and read the whole thing in one sitting. So yeah, looking forward to picking that one up. And then as far as Kingdom of the Wicked is concerned, I did get to my page 102, so I did get to my goal today. Really enjoying this. So it's happened where Victoria's died. I'm not going to give you specifics on how that happens, but that has happened now, and Amelia has ended up managing to summon Wrath, who is one of the princes of hell, and that's just happened. So now she's going to question him on some things, but it looks like she obviously doesn't dabble, not obviously, she doesn't dabble in dark magic much. She is like a light magic, is that what they call it? Light magic witch. Her sister, by the looks of things, was dabbling in dark magic, and she's now dabbled in a bit of dark magic to summon Wrath, but it looks like there may be something about the spell that she's used to summon him that could be a bit off. She doesn't know about it yet because she's being stubborn. She's not allowing Wrath to explain what's going on, but he is very broody, and I am getting vibes from other books in here, only very subtly. So very subtly Akamath vibes on the basis of a tattoo, just very subtly. And then also the Bargainer vibes. So if you've read the Bargainer series, which is the first book in that series is Rhapsodic, it's by Laura Thalassa, and I've read the first 2 in the series. I need to read the rest, but just very ever so slightly it's giving me the Bargainer vibes as well, just with how grumpy the Bargainer is versus like how grumpy Wrath is. And this, the tension already, just immediately I could feel the tension between these two, and I'm actually really kind of hoping this might become a bit smutty. I really hope there's a relationship between these two. Don't know what it is about certain authors that can write romance really well, whether it be just contemporary romance or fantasy romance, where just instantly you can feel a vibe between characters, like 2 characters. I was reading a book the other day, and the romance in the book was very insta-lovey, and although towards the end of it I did kind of semi-enjoy it, it was very insta-lovey, it was very fast, and I just didn't feel, you know, like the sexual tension between the characters. I just didn't feel it. Whereas this, immediately, the second that Wrath turned up in the circle that she'd set up and everything and done the spell, the second he turned up and he saw her, I just immediately, like, it's not like he even, by the sounds of things, it's not like he's even interested in her, and she's by no means interested in him, but I have this feeling. I just have this feeling, and I am shipping them. So yeah, kind of hoping there's a romance in this, and I'm kind of hoping it becomes smutty, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, enjoying it so far. It's going really well. I'm gonna go now because I'm actually gonna watch Resident Evil, the final one. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with the rest of my evening. This hair is driving me mad. It's like a new baby hair, and I just don't know where it's come from. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a jam sponge, I think, out the fridge and watch Resident Evil. So I will check back in with you tomorrow. Today's been a very updatey day. I've updated you loads. I'm gonna have so much footage for this weekend reading vlog. My apologies. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay? Even when you wanna walk away, when times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down.
Okay, good afternoon. It's a lot later in the day than I anticipated it to be. It's Saturday afternoon and it's almost 4 o'clock. I have just finished watching the F1 qualifying. What happened was I came downstairs, turned the TV on at like 11:30. I've just scratched my head with my glasses. Turned the TV on at like 11:30 and thought that it was the qualifying, and then thought that it had been delayed. It hadn't, it was practice. So I've sat with the TV on for the last, well, it's 4 o'clock now, and I've been watching the F1 programme for the last 5 hours, thinking that it's qualifying, and it isn't. It's only been qualifying for the last hour, so yay for me. I only realised what was going on at like 2:30, at which point I was like, it's pointless me picking the book up now for, well, at 2 o'clock, I was like, it's pointless me picking the book up now for qualifying to start at 2:30, so I just left it till the end of qualifying. Anyway, finished watching qualifying. I've just started reading this again, and I've just started my page off on chapter 14. Page number 102, and already I just know that this is really going to pick its pace up now. Like, we've been setting the scene and I've been getting to know the characters. Like, I've got to know Amelia really well, and I've even been getting to know Victoria, even though she is dead now, and Amelia's nonna and people like that. So, and I just this vibe between Wrath and Amelia is going to be so good, and I'm going to be really disappointed if A, there isn't a romance, and B, it's not steamy, because I could live for these two already, and they just hate each other. Basically, he's waiting for her where she summoned him, essentially. This isn't really much of a spoiler because this is pretty much in the synopsis. He's waiting for her in the where she summoned him the previous night, and he's no shirt. He turned up shirtless because, you know, that's what demons do. And she's brought him a shirt, but it's like a really shit shirt she's just bought from the market, and he's like, no, I'm not putting this on. It smells like you've carved out pig innards with it. Is that what he said? It must stink. It looks like you balled it up and left it in the bottom of a drawer for months, and it smells like you wiped out pig innards with it. Ew. He's like, you can either get me something better or take me as I am. And she's like, put the shirt on. And he's like, no, did you have naughty dreams about me last night? I'm just like so excited about this. So we're going to carry on reading, hopefully get my 150 pages done today. If it really picks up the pace and I want to carry on with it, I'll just try and finish it today. But I don't think there's much chance of me trying to do 150 pages of this and then finishing Crazy Stupid Bromance as well today, just because of the time now that I'm actually starting to read. But we'll see what happens. So I will update you when I have something to tell you about. I'll go and see whether or not Amelia and Wrath are going to get it on. Bye. Hello, 'tis me, the Skyver. I managed 27 pages of this earlier on before I fell asleep for about 40 minutes, and then got up and made my tea, which was the other part of the pasta evangelists meal that I got yesterday, and then promptly forgot that yesterday Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds musical edition was premiering on YouTube last night, and I just spent 2 hours watching that. So I've read 27 pages all day. I've just stuck a 2-hour ambience room on, so we're gonna read for 2 hours And then I want to watch The Gentleman later, because I've had that film stuck in my head since I saw it at the cinema earlier on this year, or late last year, whenever it was. So I kind of want to watch that later, I think. So yeah, I'm going to try and see how far I can get into this in the next 2 hours. So I'm on page 128 at the moment, and we'll see how far I can get in the next 2 hours. And then yeah, it looks like I'm saving Crazy Stupid Bromance for tomorrow and the rest of this for tomorrow. I'm hoping that I can still get both of them done for tomorrow, because I don't really want these to run into Monday. They can, but I don't really want them to. I kind of want to use Monday as a filming, editing and doing some coursework kind of day. So I obviously need to read as well, but there's other books that I need to be getting through before the end of the month, and I need to focus on those books next week rather than these. So I do need to really finish this and Crazy Stupid Bromance tomorrow, and I've still got the F1 on. So I probably shouldn't watch The Gentleman tonight, but I really want to. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to do 2 hours, and then I will let you know what I'm planning on doing. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. It is now almost 11 o'clock, it's 56 minutes past 10 p.m. on Saturday, and I managed to get to page 209 of Kingdom of the Wicked. So I'm here, I've got like 160 pages to go, bang on. So yeah, really enjoying this. The flirtationship is continuing. Yeah, just really enjoying it. They are now working together, Wrath and Amelia, to investigate Victoria's death and slowly making their way through all possibilities basically, and yeah, it's going well so far. So a couple of shocking moments have happened, and yeah, still anticipating this is definitely going to be one of those where if there is a romance between Wrath and Amelia, it will either happen at the end of this book, or if there is a second one to this, I'm assuming this is part of a series, but I don't know obviously because I'm not at the end of the book yet, or it will happen in the next book if there's a second book. So yeah, if there's not a romance, I'm just being daft, but I really hope there is, because I just really want there to be a romance between these two. Still continuing to tab this up, plenty of tabs going on in there. So yeah, really enjoying it so far. It's very good. I find myself smiling at a lot of things with this as well. Amelia's so sassy when she's talking to Wrath. I also realised at one point as well, I keep having these now since I read Addie LaRue, these very late on realisations with books where I won't fully take on how a character might affect another character. So for example, in this, with the Princes of Hell, when she's around Wrath, she seems to be a little bit more angry. So he's not exactly pushing his power on her, but he can do on occasion. And but she seems to be a bit more antsy and fired up when she's around him, and she's come across a couple of the other princes as well, and similarly the same things have happened with their moods. I don't want to spoil who she's come across, but yeah, with them as well, a similar thing has happened there as well. And it was only as she came across the first brother, call themselves brothers, it's only as she came across the, not Wrath, but okay, the second brother, that I realised that, and I was like, oh, that might explain why she's so fired up when she's around Wrath. But I think it's that, a mix of that, and also because of another reason which you'll find out when you read the book, but I'm not going to tell you why. So yeah, it's really hard to do reading diaries with these because I want to tell you everything that happens, but I don't want this to be a spoilery review. So trying to give you what I can without spoiling too much of the book. I also managed to get 10% into Crazy Stupid Bromance as well. So really enjoying that. I just wanted to try and push myself along a little bit on that. I'm enjoying that so far. It's going really, really well. So we've had a chapter, up to chapter 4. We've had a chapter, 2 chapters from Noah and a chapter from Alexis. I really enjoy when you get multiple points of view in romance. I really enjoy it because I love getting the guy's perspective. These books are usually more so from the guy's perspective. You'll usually get longer chapters from them, but I enjoy the female perspectives as well. Alexis runs a cat cafe. My my Kindle kicking off because I've said that name. She runs a cat cafe, and there is literally a woman across the street who runs an antique store called Karen, who does nothing but complain at Alexis. She doesn't believe that basically some of the women that go into the store are... Can I explain this without ruining? Yeah, so in the second book, basically, Liv, the other main character in the book, we're following Mac and Liv in the second book, Undercover Bromance, and Liv works for a guy who, as it turns out, there is like a sexual harassment thing going on, like an underlying sexual harassment in the workplace thing going on. I won't tell you too much more than that, but Alexis is one of the people who used to work for him, and he did sexually harass her. Now, she runs this cat cafe, and a lot of the women that go in there have been ex-employees of this guy. So Karen comes in, she's all... I just find it funny that she's called Karen. She's all up in Alexis's face about the cat that she's got in the cafe, saying that he's left a rat on her doorstep and all this lot, but her cat goes home with her in the evening and he's been in the shop all morning, so it can't be him. And she's like, well, it's just not on that you're running this place anyway, you're taking up all the parking spaces, these women don't go anywhere else, they just come into your cafe, and it's all lies anyway. She was short of saying basically that Alexis is a slut and they're all harlot women and lying about this guy. So yeah, I was shocked at that a little bit. I'm quite shocked at that, but yeah, it's good so far. I think this is going to be very, very interesting. I already love the dynamic between Alexis and Noah. They're really good friends, but they're so cute. Very clearly a flirtationship going on there, definitely 100%. Alexis has already mentioned that she thinks that Noah wants more from her, but doesn't advance on it because he doesn't want to ruin the friendship, which is exactly what's going on. She's 100% got that correct, but she doesn't feel like she's ready yet anyway for anything more with anybody, never mind just Noah, but with anybody, because of everything that happened like 18 months ago with the whole coming forward about the sexual harassment claim. So yeah, it's going well so far. I'm really excited about carrying on with that tomorrow. I'm really hoping that doesn't take me too long. I don't think it will take me as long to get through as this will. I think that's got like 297 pages or something. It's just shy of 300 pages. But with it being a contemporary romance, I tend to fly through those a lot easier. So I'm hoping it doesn't take me too long to get through that, and I'm really hoping that I might be able to get through that and the rest of this tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I really don't want this vlog to kind of like run into Monday if I can help it. So we'll see what happens though. If it has to run into Monday, it has to run into Monday. It is what it is, but we'll see what happens. I might even pick this up again later when I get in bed. Because I'm going to watch The Gentleman now, I think. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend doing so. It's hilarious and gory, and I loved it. Hugh Grant plays an awesome part, and Charlie Hunnam's in it, and Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell. It's just so funny, and I love it so much. So I'm going to watch that, because why the hell not? I really want to. So yeah, I'm going to go. And I will check back in with you probably tomorrow now, and there's no way I'm going to do another check-in tonight, so I'll probably check back in with you tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Good afternoon, it is Sunday. It's 3:30. I've just finished watching the F1. Lewis Hamilton managed to win, and he got his 92nd win, which means that he has now taken that record from Michael Schumacher, who had 91, which is just amazing, and I'm so proud of him. He beat a record at the week before last, at the last F1, and was honoured with a Michael Schumacher helmet from Mick Schumacher, who is Michael's son. And then this week he's just beaten another record, so super proud of him. He had a really good race, and it was an entertaining race overall. Started out very, very well, loved it. So I've pulled my hair to the side because this top that I'm wearing makes me look like a cowboy. My brother always takes the piss out of me that I look like a cowboy, and it makes my hair's been super static since I washed it the other day, and it's pissing me off. It's driving me up the wall. So short of throwing it up in a bobble, I can't bother going looking for one. I've pulled it to the side because it's doing my head in. I've had enough. Okay, so this morning I got up and read for a little bit in bed. I read Crazy Stupid Bromance. I'm now 31% in, so I need to finish that off. I think that's what I'm going to do now, and then save the rest of Kingdom of the Wicked for a bit later on. I got up to page 209 and there are 369 pages, so I've literally got bang on 160 pages of this left to go. So 59% of Crazy Stupid Bromance and 160 pages of this left to go. I think I can do it. I don't think it will take me too long to get through Crazy Stupid Bromance. I'm going to guesstimate at maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get through that, and then I can finish this hopefully tonight. So my intention, I didn't watch The Gentleman last night. I started watching Treadstone. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's on Amazon, and it's basically Treadstone's like the program that made Jason Bourne. So if you've ever watched the Bourne films, Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, etc, etc, it's the Treadstone is the company, if you like, that made Bourne, so Jason Bourne. So it kind of follows that, but I just got really confused with it. I hadn't realised until the second episode that we were watching two separate timelines. So Jeremy Irvine is in it back in the 1960s or the 1970s, and then it jumps without really telling you that it's jumping to like, oh well, it does say current day, but I hadn't realised we're in the 1960s. So yeah, it jumps to current day. It looks kind of good, but I turned it off halfway through the second episode because I was getting distracted. And then did I watch anything else? Oh no, I decided to read for a bit more, but I wasn't reading either Kingdom of the Wicked or Crazy Stupid Bromance. I was reading The Empire of Gold instead. So I was just trying to catch up with some of that. So yeah, I'm gonna go and read for a little bit, and then I will check back in with you when I've got something to update you on. Okay, I am reading, it's 5 o'clock and I'm reading Crazy Stupid Bromance. I'm currently 45% in, and I just had to laugh because there is a sort of like, not sort of like, pretty much a sex scene happening, and the two people involved, I don't want to spoil it, but the two people involved, pretty much know who it is, are about to get down and dirty, and just as she's reaching for his pants, it says, but when her fingers left his hair and began to fumble with the button of his jeans, the voice of reason began to walk around banging pots and pans in his brain like the morning wake-up call that drowned out the urgent beat of his heart and the throbbing swell of his pants. I can't stop laughing about the thought of the voice of reason walking around with pots and pans and bringing you back down to earth. I just found that quite funny. I forgot how much I missed Lyssa Kay Adams's writing style. I really love these books, and I really hope that the series is a long one that continues to carry on. Right, okay, I am going to go because I need a wee, and not that you guys needed to know that. So I'm going to do that and then read for a little bit longer, I think maybe another hour, and then have some tea because I'm starving. So yeah, check back in with you later. Okay, it's Monday afternoon and I just finished Kingdom of the Wicked. I did finish Crazy Stupid Bromance yesterday, so I'll very quickly just go through that, and then I will sum up Kingdom of the Wicked as well. So I've just put both of these through core pile. Crazy Stupid Bromance, I really loved this book. I found that I actually, once the romance started getting going, I found it a little bit cheesy. But either way, I just loved it. I really loved Noah and Alexis. I just thought they were great, and I just loved that they had their own bits going on in the background with family, and massively with family actually, and also Alexis with some other stuff as well with the work that she does. So I mean, to be fair, their struggles mirrored each other. So Alexis had this thing going on where she had a family issue. Her mum has passed away like 3 years prior. She doesn't know who her dad is, and then this thing happens. I don't want to spoil it, but this thing happens where family becomes a big thing for her. There is a transplant side of things with this as well, a kidney transplant side of things, so organ donation, and that kind of sort of goes on for Alexis. Not only that, but she's got the Toe Beans Cafe as well, which is a cat cafe in which she has a cat called Beefcake, who is such a personality in this book. He has such an, it's so subtle, but he's got such an important storyline in the book, and it's so cleverly done. But he goes to the cafe with her and then comes home with her at night. He lives with her, and he was a rescue cat that she'd gotten just after her mum passed away. Now, every so often, Alexis will host adoption events, so you can adopt a cat at the cafe. Let's just tilt this down a little bit. So you can adopt a cat at the cafe and things like that. Not only that, but she has a lot of survivors. So in book 2, Alexis is one of the girls that's sort of wrapped up in the whole sexual assault in the workplace debacle that Liv's involved in. So Alexis is one of the characters from book 2, and she sort of has basically a lot of the women that come into the cafe are survivors of sexual assault as well, not necessarily from the same person that did it to Alexis, but other people as well. And there is a woman called Karen who works in one of the antique shops across the way from the cafe, who's constantly whinging that there are too many cars in the car park, and women will come in the morning, not leave till late in the afternoon, like they'll spend all day there. And then she does like yoga sessions as well after the cafe's finished and things like that. But it's all to do with this community of providing a safe space for survivors of sexual assault. And I think it's a really amazing thing that Alexis is doing, and Karen's just being a Karen. So Alexis has got all of that going on, and then you've got Noah, who his dad passed away when he was like 13 years old. He was in the army and he was killed. His Humvee was drove over an IED and he was killed. So he was killed in action, and Noah's been very mad about this ever since. He is, you know, a really clever man, went to MIT, and he used to be a hacktivist until he got caught one day and then put in prison. And essentially the guy that sort of helped the family out ever since, and been in the background helping Noah's mum out and Noah's sister Zoe out and helping Noah out, but always being really hard on Noah, has helped Noah out, get out of prison. He didn't actually end up going to prison, he got arrested, but no, this guy ended up, he's called Marsh, I think it is, and he managed to help Noah out, and has just ever since kind of been on Noah's back. But Noah's never really figured out why. He can't really figure it out. Then he's got obviously his mum and his sister. His mum, again, there's the relationship between Marsh and his mum, sort of Noah can't figure out why she won't move on. He can't figure out why Marsh kind of keeps holding her back a little bit, and all that's going on. His sister Zoe doesn't have a massive part to play. She's in it a little bit, but she's not got a great big part to play. So he's got that family thing going on. He's holding a lot of resentment from like the government and from these companies and things that sort of provide Humvees and IEDs and things like that. He's got a lot of resentment going on, and he has a lot of, because he used to be a hacktivist, he has a lot of things that he holds on to where he might for example, they go away on the bachelor and bachelorette party and they take a private jet, and he sort of, you get a minute with him where he's like, oh, we're going on this private jet and I just can't even think about, like, it makes me sick, the you know, the pollution that we're going to put in the air by taking this private jet. We can drive it in 3 hours. I don't know why we need to take the private jet and all this lot. He has a lot of internal conflict with himself because of who he is as a person. And then, so that's his work thing. He's now in the private sector of helping people out with security on the computers and things like that, making loads and loads of money. So he's got himself on the straight and narrow. So that's the work and family thing with him. So they've both got like a work and family thing going on, as well as their relationship together as well. And I just think it's very cleverly done, the way it's the way that it is, and with the background story of everything else that's going on from book 2 as well. So I really enjoyed it. I did find once they started getting going with the relationship, it was a little bit cheesy, but what I really loved was the progress, the growth between both of these characters, between Alexis and Noah. The character growth from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, it's almost like you were seeing teenage Alexis and Noah and then adult Alexis and Noah, and you weren't. It's just been a series of months. For the book's gone through like a series of months, not a specific time period, but I'm assuming a series of months, and the growth that both of them have, they both sort of have, you know, a moment of realization of, I need to change how I perceive things, or I need to change how I react to things, or I just need to make a change within myself, and the growth is incredible. I really loved that there was a section, the whole thing going on in the background with the organ donation as well. Really enjoyed that. I haven't seen that in a book before, so I think it's really important to sort of bring that to the forefront. I have a friend who has had a heart transplant. She had a heart transplant at the age of about 8 years old, I think. She's now actually at the age of 26 in the process. She's back on the organ donation list, and she's basically in heart failure, so she needs a new heart again. So organ donation is really important. We are trying to, I don't actually know if this has gone through yet, but we're trying to pass a law that there is an opt-out rather than an opt-in for organ donation in this country, in the UK, and I think it's really important we get that passed. I have been signed up for organ donation since I was 16, I think, so it's really important to think about these things. And if I can find some information, I'll leave some links down below. If you want more information on organ donation in the UK, I'll leave some links down below for you so you can go and check it out. And I think it's really important to bring these things to the forefront sometimes, and in movies or in books. It's a really good way to sort of get people to think about these things and have a discussion about them. So please do so if it's something you are passionate about. I'm really passionate about organ donation. I've spoken to my parents about it. I think it's really important that people are on the organ donation list. My auntie, when she passed away, she was on the organ donation list. She donated everything except for her eyes, and I just think it's a really important thing that we should be discussing. So I really liked that there was that in the book. So on that basis, I have given the book 5 stars. It is a pretty high 5 stars. It's come out on Core as 9.29. Anything between a 9 and a 10 is a 5 star. So I gave it 10 for characters and the writing. I love Lissa Kay's writing style, and I'm so excited to find out that there's going to be a 4th book in this series. Hope she carries on and on with them, to be honest, but there's going to be a 4th book in the series which is going to follow the Russian. I think it's going to be so good because I really enjoy the Russian as a character. I just find him so funny. Then I gave it a 9 then for atmosphere, plot, intrigue, logic and enjoyment. Only on the basis, it would have got a 10 on enjoyment, but only on the basis that I did just find the relationship when it first got going a little bit cheesy. But yeah, otherwise I really loved that book. So yeah, that ended up being a much longer review than I thought it was going to be. My apologies. I just got carried away with the organ donation thing, which, to be honest, I take back my apologies, because I'm not going to apologise for being passionate about organ donation. I think it's really important. So the next book then is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. I love Kerry's writing style. I've read the Stalking Jack the Ripper series and I'm obsessed with it. I actually really want to reread it already. I only read it, I think we finished reading it at the beginning of this year because I buddy read it with Siobhan, and I loved it. So Kingdom of the Wicked is fantastic, following Amelia and Victoria, who are twins. They are witches and they live with their nonna and the mum and dad, and they run a Sicilian, they live in Sicily, and they run a Sicilian restaurant called Sea and, what's it called? Oh, Sea and Bine. They run a Sicilian restaurant called Sea and Bine, and they help their nonna out with making the food and things like that, and then in the background nonna's sort of making, you know, like candles and things like that for rituals and stuff. So they have this thing going on. There are other witches dotted throughout the town that they live in, but they can't really discuss with them. There's a monastery. Amelia's best friend Antonio works in the monastery as a man of God, and he doesn't know that she's a witch. So it's kind of like a secret that her family are witches. And then one day Victoria is killed and Amelia wants to find out what's happened. She ends up summoning one of the princes of hell called Wrath, who is Prince Wrath of Hell, and she basically essentially asks for his help to try and find out what's happened to Victoria and how she has ended up being killed. There are other witches that appear to be being killed as well, 2 witches before Victoria, and then it continues to happen after Victoria. So she wants to find out what's going on. She ends up coming across other princes of hell within this story as well, and this story just kind of goes from there. I can't really tell you much more than that because it will spoil what happens. I am really surprised by the end of this. This is the first in a series. I don't know how long the series is going to be, whether it's a duology, a trilogy or more, but I'm really excited for the next one. I am shocked by the ending of this. I did not see it going that way, and I don't know how the story's going to move forward from that. And well, I get how the story's going to move forward from it, but it's just not the way I thought it was going to go. All the way through this, I was like really rooting for Wrath and Amelia to have like a relationship, and if you've read it yeah, I'm so excited for the next one. This also got 5 stars, and it got higher 5 stars than Crazy Stupid Bromance. This got a 9.43. So this got a 10 for characters, atmosphere and writing. The characters in here were amazing. Really loved Amelia. She is so strong-headed, and at times I thought she was really fucking stupid for some of the decisions that she made, but honestly, really strong-headed, very, you know, I can do this and I don't need help and I will get through this and I will find a way through it, and I really loved that about her. She was also sassy, and I loved the banter between her and Wrath. I thought Wrath was a great character as well. Didn't kind of feel him being, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the spell that Amelia used, but I didn't kind of feel him being dominating over Amelia, which I was kind of expecting, but I didn't feel that, which kind of liked. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Loved the characters in this. The characters that I hated, I even enjoyed the fact that I hated them. They were written so well that I did hate them. And yeah, so I loved the characters. The atmosphere was fantastic. I just, every now and then she'll throw in like a recipe for something that she's made, and I just really enjoyed that it sort of pulled you back into sort of being in Sicily and the Italianness of it, and I just really loved that. Loved it so much. It was so nice to have I had some dishes from Pasta Evangelis this weekend as well, so it was so nice to have that combination. And then the writing, again, as mentioned, I love Kerry's writing, so I'm so excited to be back with her writing style. It was so good. And then I gave 9 for the plot, intrigue, logic and enjoyment. Overall, I really enjoyed this. To be fair, probably could get a 10 for enjoyment. Let's bump that up because I did enjoy it. There's not anything really in here that I didn't enjoy, so it gets a 9.57 in the end. The logic, it made sense. It did 100% make sense. I think the only thing that I'm struggling with is where it kind of goes from here and what happens next, and if she has a plan in her head that we're not aware of yet, and it will become revealed in the next book. I don't know, but yeah, really excited about this, and I am so thankful to Hodder for sending me a copy of this, so thank you so much to them for this copy. I absolutely loved it. I'm so glad that I've gotten the chance to read this before it comes out. And yeah, both of these books are out today, so if you wanted to get your hands on either Kingdom of the Wicked or Crazy Stupid Bromance, you can get them today, the day that you are seeing this video, and I obviously would recommend both of them. Both 5-star reads, both fantastic. I had a great time with both of them, so yeah, highly recommend. I would say that I would read the Crazy Stupid Bromance series in order, sorry, the Bromance Book Club series in order, starting with the Bromance Book Club, Undercover Bromance, and then Crazy Stupid Bromance. I would read them in order because the stories are almost back to back. So I would highly recommend that. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars for both of these, and I highly recommend them. So I will now go and edit this video and make sure that this is up for you guys on the day that these books are released. I had a really good time reading both of these actually, and doing this video as well. Do let me know. I have another one of these planned in January. which I know is a lot, like seems like a long way away, but it's not, and it's only because I have a blog tour coming up for them. So I've really enjoyed kind of doing this, reading ARCs that come out on the day that I release the video. So do let me know if you want me to do something like this again. I've really enjoyed it. I got the idea from Chelsea Dolling Reads, so go check her channel out if you are interested in doing so. Leave a link down below. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave me a snake, on the basis that Kingdom of the Wicked did get the higher 5-star. Leave me a snake in the comments down below if you got to the end of this video, if you don't want to comment anything else. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you for the next one. Bye for now.